Hello and welcome to another edition of Mailbag. What is Mailbag? Well, Mailbag is a feature of the channel where you guys leave lots of comments on the channel and I attempt to answer those comments, or if I can't answer those comments, I throw it out to you guys who have more knowledge on some of this stuff than I do. So let's get into the first mailbag of this session. Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Instagram and follow me there. Go over to Facebook, follow me there. That's where the normal notices are. And consider becoming a Patreon. Next one comes from Ellie Banner Fan 65. And it's in response to the Boss Micro Rack Effects video I did in August 2023. This is an interesting one because I've had a number of comments about this particular video. But this is what Leberfan writes. You are using them in completely the wrong way. You're using them in a traditional manner, which is completely missing the point. The ROD10 houses multiple iconic distortion circuits. You are putting a RGB before and or after the distortion to shape the overtones created. The chords and timbre you fed in it were limited. Quintessential voicings are good starting points. The RPS has a CV over hold and pitch shifting, diligent use of which transform it into an instrument of near limitless sonic explanation. These will keep their value forever and likely to increase in price. Well, I put them on the bench, I plugged them in, I played stuff through them, and they were the results. But what I can say to those that have commented on this is, if you're going to put them into, if you're going to use effects in multiple combinations, one of my points I made about these rack effects were that you have to kind of daisy chain them together to try and get something out of them, which is where the Alcys, MIDI verb, micro verb, and a numerous other effect units from Roland and Yamaha, etc., Eventide, kind of came into play, because for a little bit more than the cost of a single unit that Boss produced, you could buy one of these multi-effect units and get much more bang for your buck, because you were able to quite simply, within the unit itself, tie multiple effects together. So, maybe I'll get some time. I still have the units. They are in storage. I'm waiting to give them back to their owner. Maybe if I get some time and I don't give them back to their owner before Christmas, maybe I'll get them out again and see if we can get some more interesting effects out of them before they go back to their owner. This one comes from MIDI Moog, and this was in response to Moog Music Lays Off Staff in Asheville, a rant I did in October 2023. And MIDI Moog writes, as an old fan of Moog, I would never have guessed so from the name. It is disappointing that production in the United States has come to an end. I'm not American, but I believe it's common sentiment that when you buy a product from a famous American brand, you want it to be made in the United States. I'd also be concerned about the future quality of their products. But as John said, being made in the Far East doesn't necessarily mean the products are inferior. I'm sure InMusic acquired Moog to make good use of the brand image and has no intention to spoil it. Let's just hope Moog keep producing the great sounding, high quality instruments, now with a price tag that's within the reach of the average musician. The inside of the memory Moog is a mess of spaghetti-like cables and circuit boards that frequently break down. I can't help but think that if we were made by Roland, it would have been a much more organised design. But wait for it! If it were made by Roland, I would have had to fight the red glue syndrome on the keys. Oh no, the red glue! Anybody who owns a Legacy machine, like this one here, an old Roland U20, This one's quite fortunate because it doesn't suffer from the red glue instance, but many keyboards from this era were what's the word I'm looking for? Prone to red glue issues. But as you put it, the spaghetti made these instruments iconic. The fact that you needed a degree in physics and a degree in electronics to actually understand what the hell was going on when you opened up a Moog instrument was probably tantamount to how the design evolved. It wasn't designed, but evolved into the synthesizer that got actually put out into the market. Because, to be honest, you would never design a machine like that, because you would design something with a view of how do you maintain it, how do your service centre work with it, and people will probably shout at me and say, no, that's not what it is. But honestly, that is what it is, because part of the designing a product is designing to be able to fix the product. I know we live in a throwaway society nowadays. Well, why fix it when you can throw it away and buy it for new? That's not the point. The point is that you should be able to fix it, and you shouldn't just have to throw it away. But what has always astounded me with some of these instruments is how the design never really evolved. How it came out, how the first one came out of the factory is how the last one came out of the factory. And if it looks like, the hairstyle of the Hair Bear Bunch, that's what you got.